Keith Hayward, University of Washington defensive back coach, standing here in beautiful Seattle, Husky Stadium. What we're about to go see is some drills that the defensive backs do, everyday drills, backpedaling, turn and go, some breaks, some tackling, a lot of good fun stuff for you to use and maybe you can incorporate in some of your practices. First thing we do call EDDs, everyday drills. We'll start off with the back pedal, something crucial to a defensive back. How I set it up is on 4 lines. I'll have the corners on the outside, safeties on the inside, and what we're looking at is a nice and smooth, right? First of all, let's talk about the stance. Shoulders over knees, knees over toes, okay? Right on the balls of our foot, and then we're looking at a nice smooth pedal, okay? Toes slightly dragging across the turf, all right? Under control, quiet shoulders, all right? Here's the second group, right? Shoulders over knees, knees over toes, all right? And a nice smooth pedal, all right? Under control, always under control, never any rush, all right? Here's our third group, all right? Smooth pedal, shoulders over knees, knees over toes. You can see like the arm bend is nice, 90 degree in the arm, and then a slight little short mover like they're hammering right to the back of their butt. Okay, last group here, right? Good stance, shoulder over knees, knees over toes, right? There they go, right? I like to see the guy furthest up at the top with a little bit more fluid, right? Instead of hitting his whole foot on the ground. Then we'll go into some transition drills, right? Where the DB has to open up, okay, and get his hips vertical. So we still start off in that nice back pedal, okay, and I'll get him to transition. And what I'm looking for is how quick can you change your hips, all right, from a back pedal to running vertical, all right. I put him on the line. I want to make sure you stay on the line, and then we got to burst and act as if that receiver is running a fade, right? But nothing changes. Still from our stance, shoulders over knees, knees over toes, pedal, and then our transition and run. As you see, some of the guys, as they're running and they're turning and running, they're looking down like if they're looking at somebody next to them. We're always acting as if they were looking at the receiver's hip so we can see the rise and the dip of the hip as we're running, okay? But the focus is on the transition, to stay on that line, right? And that smooth pedal and get a vertical transition to see how fast you can go ahead and flip those hips, all right, from going into a back pedal into a full speed run and then seeing the hip. So as you can see, the guy right down here at the bottom, number 20, I would like to see him. He does a nice job pedaling, transitioning, but I would want him to see that hip right now and look on the side, okay? Now we're going to go into a weave, all right? On our weave drill, looking for, right, you start off in that pedal, as we always do, and now a receiver's trying to take your leverage for a man drill, and we want to go ahead and stay square, and pretty much it's just an angle pedal, okay? So you can see as we pedal on the line, I'll push the guy in one direction, and I like to see him to get a good 3 steps, or 3 yards over, I should say, on their weave. And then I'll push them again and have them react off me so they don't know which way I'm going to push them for the weave. All right, next group's up. They start in their pedal, and I push, right? Push for the weave. Get off your line, try to get about 3 yards over, and then when I bring you back, try to go ahead and come back and get back to your line, okay? After the weave, we go into some breaks, all right? First break that we'll see, and we'll see a bunch of them, okay, because I have a bunch of them here on this. We'll go into that same pedal. We always start out the drill the same way. So stance, shoulder over knees, knees over toes, hands in front, 90-degree arm bend, okay? We get into our start, pedal, 0 degree, just straight back downhill. This one time we're doing a left foot break, all right? You can't see me in front, however, but what I'm doing is I clap my hands on the start, and when I stand straight up, and then when my hips drop, that's when they break. I always give them an indicator that's realistic, you know, to what they're going to see, all right? So back pedal, then the break, right, on my hips drop, okay? So we'll go drive straight downhill, then we'll open them up, back pedal, open on the transition. Now, on this drill right here, it's important that guys, when they open and transition, they're bursting as if the guy's running a fade, okay? Because you never know. We see the corner down here, number 18, he's playing the drill. He's not really opening his hips and bursting. But you always want to make sure they're bursting and playing the fade, then reacting and coming back down on the drive. So what we're doing is we're pedaling, we're opening to the left, running for the fade, and as we're running, they're looking back down at me. I am simulating that I am that receiver. When I bring my hands back down, okay, it's to a comeback. So they're driving back downhill 45 degrees. All right. Right here, we go into some more turns where we're turning, opening up, and doing a speed turn. So we're over-exaggerating and getting the speed turn back downhill, okay, about 45 degrees. So we want to make sure that we break all different type of ways, all right? So back hip, back pedal, turn and open, right? Speed turn, wheel turn, whatever your term is. Get that head around, okay, and snap your eyes so that you can go ahead and find the receiver. Try to not round these brakes. Try to have sharp brakes and good angles. So back pedal. All right, now we're going and running to the post. So everybody should be going like as if we're going back and running on a corner, okay? And we're getting our head around. So back pedal. There it is. We're going to go ahead and back pedal, turn and open. There we go, upfield. There's the look right there. So back pedal, turn and open, and then upfield. And it all depends, right? The guys are going to go ahead, and the reason why you got to hurry up and get that head around at this point right here after you open is you want to make sure you can get your head around to see the receiver, to see if he's breaking it flat. Now you got to flatten your angle out, or if he's going up vertical, and now you got to go ahead and keep vertical on that going to the post or a corner. So back pedal, turn, open up those hips, drive and get that head around, get your eyes around. Now we're going into some reaction drills. So I put guys right next to each other, and sometimes, and what I tell them is I'm gonna break you one way and I'm gonna break you the other way. And sometimes I won't break them the other way. I just want to see that they're driving and reacting. So right now, as you can see it, I'm breaking these guys to their right, all right? And then I might just extend it and keep it going to the right. And I'll bring it back to the left, and the guy who ends up with the last break has to reach out and try to reach and touch the other guy's hip, okay? Simulating if a guy is breaking an out route and you're trying to drive on that out route or come back or dig or whatever you have it, all right? So right now, these guys are just playing the drill, and they're not really opening up their hips on that first break. As you can see, they're kind of hopping into it. So this one would have been a good one to just point in one direction. They're kind of anticipating me. Right? But right there, you can see it's just good change of direction. This could be a slant, you know, or an out, kind of lean into a not out route and then come back inside. But it's a good reaction to do to see guys. Here's a good one because you can see their hips turn, right? So they're pedaling. You see both guys' hips turn. That's perfect right there. Now they turn back and you can see them get the feet in the ground, change the direction and turn back and then drive. That's a perfect drill right there. I'll just rewind that one back again. So the pedal, boom, turn. You got both of the hips turned away. Okay, so you know that they're believing it on the drive. You react back to it. Now they're driving. All right. The next drill just works some press. We play a lot of man in our defense, want to get up on the line. People always want to know how you teach press. So what I teach is a staggered stance, half a man inside, about a yard off, okay? Weight on that front foot, shoulders over knees, knees over toes, have your hands ready in front. And then on this one, we're working a gather or clear step back on the receiver's first movement. And then we're gonna work a lateral mirror step to whatever side the receiver releases to. So as you can see it, you got the weight on that front foot. There's no wasted steps, right? That's the clear step. And once you get to that point, you come back and take your clear step, which should be a good yard. Eyes are on the belt buckle, and now you're ready for your mirror step to where the receiver go left or right. We overemphasize it and try to keep the DB to stay square. We'll work the drill with no hands first, right? So as you can see, and this is a good job right here, after the clear step, okay, to gather to come back, then the mirror, he has good square hips, all right, and he's able to mirror that receiver and therefore throw the timing off on the press. So we'll go through that. Here it is, shoulders, weight, shoulders over knees, knees over toes, weights on that front foot, right? There's your mirror, or excuse me, your clear step. I like to see a little bit more of a kick step back, right, to keep some of that cushion, all right? but it's a good job of him focusing on the hip, okay? And then mirroring, staying square, lateral movement, 45 degrees, working for that cutoff angle. That's a good job right there, okay? There you go, all right? So remember, when you do this one, about a yard off, inside man, or it could be outside leverage. It just depends on how you're teaching it, where the help is. All right, we work it with a staggered step so that there's no false step, okay? And then now we're going to go ahead and clear step straight back. There we go. So it's straight back, focusing eyes on the hip. And then our lateral movement, try to keep them shoulders and the hips square. It's just an over-exaggeration of the drill. At some point, that DB is going to have to open up and crack his hips. And then the next phase of this drill is we'll work the strike with that left hand and open up and then transition and run. Here are some tackling drills that we do. All right, we'll call this one a banana tackle. So it's just a corner or safety coming down from the post, the safety coming down from say you playing a cover 4 and the run gets outside. I call this one a banana tackle. And what we teach, because of the rule changes, all right, we want to gator and get on the legs. Okay, and we do it on bags sometimes so we don't have to worry about the pounding of each other, and we can clamp and actually grab bags all the way to the ground. So you want to stay inside out, use that sideline, come downhill, banana tackle, clamp that bag, and gator roll on those legs. Okay, so coming downhill, inside out, all right, using that sideline, clamp that bag, and gator roll. All right, get on those legs and get the guy down. Focus or emphasis right now, what you got to do is sometimes those runners can end up cutting back. So once in a while, we'll do the drill where the bad guy will cut back, and you got to make sure that you still use the sideline, maintain an inside out leverage. All right, so we'll come downhill. All right, try to tackle that, clamp that bag. All right, let's get another good rep right here. All right, downhill, inside out. You see as the DB is going low to get on those legs. Right, we'll clamp and roll. We'd like to see that gator roll, right? So him rolling to his left. So if you're running to your right, as you get on the legs, you want to roll to your left. Use your momentum, all right? Now, this is a good one. Now you're getting stocked. You're getting stock blocked, okay? Safety coming up and receivers coming up and he's stocking you, or the corner. So we put the little sled right there to work what I call shock, lock, and release. So I want to see a little bit more pushing this guy back. Like you want to run him back, run your feet, lock him out, extend the arms, and then throw him and get rid of him. And then we'll come still and still make that low tackle, trying to get on the legs and get the guy down. All right. So right in front, first whistle, lock him out. There we go. Right. Engage. Get your hands right under the shoulder pads or in the, right under the armpits of this sled right here. Lock him out. Okay. Throw it to your leverage, come down, and still that same gator tackle want to get on the legs. All right. So run, lock out, good right there. Throw it. All right. As we throw it, we want to get rid of that blocker. Okay. And go ahead and come down and gator on that bag. All right. Right tight. Snap it, lock it out. That's a good lockout and extension. Right there at that point, what you're trying to do is you want to find your eyes and see where the ball carrier is going. All right. Lock it out, get rid of them, and then go make a tackle. Okay? So we'll do this going to the left. We'll do this going to the right. All right, we'll continue to do this over and over again. And then sometimes we'll incorporate, but we'll have a ball, which is, I think, is the next drill we'll see next, and you kind of come down with a ball and we're working a cut tackle. All right, so I'll let this kind of run just so you can see some of these, and some of the guys do it. All right, lock them out, get rid of them. Come through, tackle the eye. You got to make sure guys are clamping that bag, getting on the legs, making that tackle. So now here's another tackling drill we'll do where I'll say we'll work the cut, use the ball. So right now what I'll do is I'll say go. I have the guys about 2 yards in front of me, and I'm looking for them to have their hands in front and stop this ball. And really all you're enacting is as now the receiver is not coming down and he's not stalking you, and then you see his head drop when he's trying to get inside on your legs. So when he does that, he's going to get low like that ball, and you do not want to let that ball get in on your legs, because if that ball does, that's that receiver's helmet, and he's cut. So you got to play low, keep your hands out in front, all right, and almost kick your feet back and step over his head. And then now we get off the block, and there you go, seeing that again, that inside out banana gator tackle. Okay, getting on them legs, and then gator roll. All right, as you see it right here, right, you got to get off that block outside, come down, gator tackle. That concludes the video. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you learned something from the video today. Go Dogs, and if you have need any other information, visit CoachSark.com. And again, go Dogs.